Looking for ways to boost your vocabulary for IELTS? Well, you've come to the right place. Hello and welcome back. My name is Claire, and in this British Council IELTS preparation video, we're going to look at ways to increase your vocabulary. We'll focus on some different types of vocabulary that you can use, and I'll share my top tips and tricks for improving your lexical range. So why is having a good vocabulary range so important? The IELTS writing and speaking sections require active vocabulary production, meaning that you need to confidently and accurately use a wide range of words to express yourself clearly. Lexical resource is one of the 4 marking criteria used to evaluate a test taker's writing and speaking skills. Simply put, it's all about how wide your vocabulary range is and how accurately it is used. The listening and reading sections demand receptive vocabulary skills, meaning that you should be able to recognize and understand words that you encounter throughout. While having a strong vocabulary is your secret weapon for succeeding in the IELTS test, it is okay to use common words which may come up. After all, you still need to sound clear and natural, especially in the speaking section. However, it's a good idea to have some synonyms at hand to use when needed. Let's take a look at this list of common words. These words are widely used in our everyday life, but in our IELTS test, we want to show the examiner we have the ability to use a wide range of vocabulary to express our ideas and opinions clearly and accurately. Substituting important for significant highlights that something has a meaningful impact or importance and showcases our ability to switch up our vocabulary. Nice is a quite plain adjective and can be replaced with delightful, allowing your descriptions to sound more pleasing. If you want to use a more intense adverb rather than saying very, you could use highly. It amplifies the degree of something significantly, like a highly rewarding experience, for example. For things that bring pleasure, enjoy could be switched for relish, suggesting a deeper appreciation for the moment or activity. The word happy is a very common word. We can elevate it to elated in order to show that we are extremely happy and excited, often because something has happened or been achieved. We can produce these words during our tests to be more expressive in our communication. Let's see how we might use some of these in our speaking test. In this Part 2 speaking question, you're asked to describe something you own, which is very important to you. We don't want to reuse words very and important, so let's use our synonyms. I could say, something I own which is highly significant to me is my guitar. By choosing these alternatives, we can enrich our vocabulary, allowing for more detailed and engaging answers. Let's look at another significant way to improve. Using cohesive devices can also help boost our score. In the IELTS test, both coherence and cohesion are crucial aspects, particularly in writing and speaking sections. They contribute significantly to how clearly and effectively you can communicate your ideas. They're also something the examiner will be looking out for, so you'll need to use them successfully if you're looking to get a high band score. In a nutshell, coherence means logically organizing ideas for clear understanding, while cohesion refers to smoothly connecting sentences and ideas. Cohesive devices are parts of speech that tie sentences and paragraphs together, ensuring that a text is understandable and flows smoothly. Here are a few you could add to your vocabulary bank. Actually is a useful word when you want to clear things up, share something true, or even show you're surprised. It's great for when you're about to say something that someone might not expect, or if you're contradicting something. I thought the project was due next week, but I found out it's actually due this Friday. Presumably means you think something is true based on what you know, but you're not totally sure. It's like making an educated guess. He's been studying for months, so presumably he'll pass his exams. Surely means that you're really sure about something and you think it's pretty obvious and easy to agree with. Surely everyone knows not to talk in the library. These are brilliant to sprinkle throughout your speaking test. In fact, let's look at a speaking part 3 question to display just how useful they can be. Do you think celebrations are experienced differently by different generations? Such a big question. We want to really expand our answers here. We also want each sentence to flow well, so let's add in our cohesive devices. Surely celebrations are experienced differently across generations. Older generations presumably cherish tradition, while younger ones actually blend tradition with modernity, utilizing technology to share moments widely. Wow, I even impressed myself with that answer. Make these part of your everyday speech and you can produce a brilliant answer too on test day. Okay, next up, connectors, also known as linking or transition words. These are words or phrases used to link sentences and paragraphs together seamlessly. This makes sure that your writing and speech are coherent and logically organized. As mentioned, you're being graded on your ability to be coherent within your IELTS writing and speaking tests. We can make this happen by using the correct connectors. We're going to look at 4 connectors you can adapt easily. These can be especially useful for your writing test. Let's start with some you might already know. Also, for example, but still, and in general. And then I'll give you some brilliant alternatives that are a bit more formal. Instead of also, we could use furthermore. It is a word that lets the person know we're about to add more details or information to a point we previously made. For example, the apartment is beautiful. Furthermore, it's in a great location. As an alternative to for example, which we use a lot, we could say for instance. Let's see it in action. There are many ways to reduce our carbon footprint. For instance, we could use public transport instead of driving. But still can be changed with nevertheless. I know it looks like a really long word, but it's not difficult to pronounce. Nevertheless. Nevertheless. This is used to show a different point without changing how true the first point is. It just adds a new view that's different. Let's see how it works. Nutrition is crucial for maintaining good health. Nevertheless, the accessibility and affordability of nutritious foods remains a significant barrier for many individuals. Last but not least, let's change in general to overall. We can use this at the end of our conversations or writing to summarize or conclude everything that was previously mentioned. Here's an example. Overall, technology and AI are reshaping society, improving efficiency, but also raising issues like job loss and privacy, emphasizing the need for regulations. I mentioned how useful these can be in your writing test. How about we take a look at a model essay question? This is an academic essay asking students to discuss the consequences of people going through life doing work that they hate or have no talent for. Test takers were also asked to discuss why this happens. They have some really well-rounded points in their answer, but I want you to focus on the connectors. We can see how seamlessly they blend into our answer to allow for an easy read and give the essay a clear structure. So, the next time you sit down to practice an essay question, be sure to try and work these 4 connectors in and see how much better your answer flows. They demonstrate your ability to organize ideas effectively and express yourself in a clear and cohesive manner. We don't want to overdo it with idiomatic language during our IELTS test, so I'll give you 3 idioms that you can sprinkle in to make your speech more vibrant. Don't worry, we'll show you with examples too. You may want to say how happy you are or were at some point in the test. So let's add an idiom to brighten our speech. Over the moon. Over the moon can be used to say how extremely happy or delighted we are or were. I was over the moon when I heard that I'd passed the IELTS test. Hopefully you will be too. Another great idiom is a piece of cake. A piece of cake. This one doesn't actually have a food connotation. It means something very easy to accomplish. A task may be a piece of cake if it is very simple or effortless to complete. That homework was a piece of cake. I finished it in 30 minutes. One last idiom for you. Jump on the bandwagon. Jump on the bandwagon. It is a helpful idiom when we want to say that we're going to join others in doing something that has become fashionable or popular. If we're following a trend and not necessarily doing something because we are generally interested, we are jumping on the bandwagon. Let's try and use this idiom when answering an IELTS Speaking Part 1 question. Is there a free time activity you would like to try in the future? I've noticed a lot of my friends have started indoor rock climbing as their new hobby, and it looks like a lot of fun. I'm thinking of jumping on the bandwagon and giving it a try this weekend. Using idiomatic language in your IELTS test can really showcase your fluency by displaying your ability to use English in a natural and knowledgeable manner. Idioms can be used to convey a specific feeling or idea. Used appropriately and accurately, they can really bring colour to your speech or writing. Idiomatic language can help you show off your proficiency in English when used correctly and in moderation. It has to seem natural. Idioms are a piece of cake once you start using them. I want to get a bit more specific for a minute and talk about some vocabulary that we learn for IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. As you may remember, you frequently need to describe trends shown in graphs, charts, or tables for this part of the test. Doing this well requires specific vocabulary, but no need to stress, we've got you covered. Trends can move in different directions. They can increase by going up, decrease by going down, or they may vary by going up and down. We should have a few words in our toolbox to be able to explain them. Here's an IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. Let's see how we can describe this line graph. Look at the blue line. This represents the amount of paper and cardboard recycled. In 1982, about 65% of paper and cardboard was recycled. That's a good starting point. Next, we want to describe how the line moves up and down. We can use the word fluctuate. This figure fluctuated. We can then see our line go up quickly in 1990. For go up, you can also say rise, increase, and grow. This figure fluctuated before rising steeply to reach a peak of 80% in 1994. From this point, we can see the blue line goes down slowly. For go down, you can say decrease, decline, and drop. From then on, however, it decreased steadily to 70% in 2010. Make a note of these words, as they can make your life easier when it comes to your IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. If you want some extra practice, why not explain what is happening to the other line in our Task 1 example? Opinion language plays a key role in the IELTS test, especially in the writing and speaking sections. You will often have to share your thoughts and ideas on various topics. Most people gravitate towards I think when sharing their opinion. However, let's improve on this with some other ways to express your point of view. Here is a part 3 speaking question all about how advertising influences what people purchase. You are being asked what you think, but let's avoid repeating the word. Do you think advertising influences what people buy? How about it seems to me? It seems to me that ads really affect what people buy because they make products look tempting and persuade us to want them. We could also use from my perspective. From my perspective, advertising heavily impacts people's buying decisions as it creates wants and influences preferences through persuasive messaging and appealing visuals. Lastly, we could opt for I'm inclined to think that. I'm inclined to think that advertising really affects what people buy by making products look appealing and convincing us that we want them. Super useful. It seems to me that using these in your IELTS test is a surefire way to demonstrate your ability to express personal opinion and engage in critical thinking with the given subject. Finally, I want to speak to you about adverbs. Adverbs are words that modify verbs, adjectives, other adverbs, or entire sentences, providing additional information. Adverbs can express the speaker's feeling or viewpoint on a stance regarding a statement, situation, or subject without directly saying their opinion. They play an essential role in adding context and details to expressions. These can be beneficial in all parts of your IELTS test. You can use them in your production tasks. They also are useful within parts of the test that require receptive vocabulary skills. There are many adverbs that you can learn, so let's take a look at a small selection now. So if we want to express a sense of disappointment or sadness regarding a certain situation or end result, let's use regrettably. Regrettably, I missed the deadline for submitting my assignment. Regrettably, despite efforts to reduce carbon emissions, pollution levels in urban areas continue to rise. How about an adverb that allows us to express a sense of interest? We can use curiously, which frequently indicates a slight sense of surprise or curiosity. Curiously, I've noticed more young people prioritize work-life balance over financial success. Curiously, the author never mentioned their opinion in the text. What if we want to say that something continues without ending? Perpetually is used to do this. Perpetually, something that persists indefinitely. Perpetually, my students procrastinate on completing their assignments on time. Living in a perpetually sunny climate can boost people's moods. There are many parts of the IELTS test where adverbs can be useful, but I want to focus on one with an example. We're going to look at a reading question. This question will be a true, false, not given question. Adverbs can really allow you to understand the author's tone or viewpoint. In this question, we have to decide if the statement is true and agrees with the information given in our text, false and contradicts the information given in the text, or not given, and there is no information on this in the text. Let's look at the text. There's a lot to read, so let's focus on one of our adverbs here. Perpetually. Remember, this is used to say something continues without ending. Perpetually bypassing minor cities, constantly passed over in favor of more secure choices. With this information, we now have our answer. It is true. It's difficult for small cities to win an Olympic bid. Adverbs can allow for better interpretation of our reading text. They can also allow you to express yourself with clarity and precision. So start noticing them and using them as much as possible. Well, that's plenty of information for one video. You have lots of ways to improve your vocabulary for your IELTS test. How about testing out your new vocabulary with some free practice tests? Sign up for IELTS Ready and get access to free mock tests. There are also useful tips to help you on your IELTS test and the opportunity to improve your vocabulary with additional activities. You can find the link in the description. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more videos to prepare for your IELTS test, why not take a look at these? And don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.